I read an article this week, pretty much blew my understanding of this gospel story. What if the king isn't God? And the son, whose wedding everybody is supposed to attend, isn't Jesus? That's what we've been all taught all these years, all the time, right? At least that's what I was taught. We go on long discourses and long sermons about how the chosen, red Jews, reject the invitation. Instead, others come, red Gentiles, and they respond to it and they show up. Those who are in that second but newly chosen group show up, quickly clothe themselves properly for this heavenly banquet. And then it makes someone into a scapegoat of what will happen to us if we don't do this. The more I think about that, the more I don't like this story. And the more I really don't like God. What if instead the king is just a king? Perhaps not a very good one. He throws a party, but no one will come. He finally drags people in off the street and they all show up, including some poor schmuck who doesn't have a clue, it seems, as to how to attend such a gala event. He's wearing the clothes he has on his back because that's who he is. In disgust and rage, the king has the man bound, mocked, and hauled outside, off the hillside, outside of town to be killed. Does that remind you of anybody? About this point in reading this article, my head is going, this is really a pretty violent, vindictive story. And it's pretty easy to use it to alienate the good guys and the bad guys. And not just Jews and Christians, but blacks and whites, rich and poor, conservative, liberals. Insert whatever names you want to put into one group and another group as they are pitted together. The king is the establishment, the world, the prevailing mood of the day. And the son, he is not the one to save things. He is the next generation of things that will continue to mock others and to perpetuate the hatred and the violence. The antidote or salvation comes from the one who won't comply with the prevailing rules, and he takes the rage upon himself so that things might change for the people and the world might be changed and saved. I had never thought about this story that way. Sit with it for a while. I guarantee you it will change your perspective. Maybe you have thought about it this way, and I am just slow in my understanding, but if it is a new way of thinking about this story that most of us have heard a number of times, if not all our lives since we were children, this is a terrible way to see other people and a terrible way to see God. Maybe we should shift our vision, and maybe we need to unsee the way we've always seen it and see something new. If parables are meant to make us uncomfortable and show us who God is and who God isn't, then this story is such an opportunity. What if God isn't the king or the heir, but the one who refuses to comply with the standing empire? What if instead he is taken away into the outer darkness of Calvary because we are worth saving from the tyranny of a king who doesn't really care for us at all? I can go for that kind of a story. I am tired of pitting people against other people. I am tired of seeing God as anything but the one who is willing to give everything for my soul and my heart. I need a God who cares, not just about me, but about everyone and everything. I need a God who goes by the name of love. I need a God who is always close by, even when I don't realize it, even when I don't want it. I think that's why Paul's words in Philippians can be such a wonderful antidote to my preconceived notions of who God is and who God isn't. The two women in the story, they seem to be at odds with each other because Paul admonishes them a little bit, tells them to sort of put down their grievances and get back together again with the help of others so that they are all going in the same direction, to help others and to be at peace with each other. He goes on to say, rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say, rejoice. Let your gentleness be known to everyone. The Lord is near. Do not worry about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which passes all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. These are a couple of verses that are probably worth memorizing. In the prelude to her book, Help, Thanks, Wow, Annie Lamott writes, nothing could matter less than what we call God. I know some ironic believers who call God Howard, as in, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I called God Phil for a long time, after a Mexican bracelet maker promised to write Phil 4:4-7 on my bracelet. Philippians 4:4-7 being my favorite passage of scripture. But he got only as far as Phil before having to dismantle his booth. Phil is a great name for God. Phil may be a great name for God. I'm not sure it matters so much because I'm pretty sure God will answer to anything if our calling out is a plea or a gratitude or something in awe. Before I read the piece about the wedding banquet, I was going to focus on Paul's words because I really resonated with how God is really near right now and we shouldn't worry about things. Mostly, I think that because we are worried about all kinds of things these days. The fatigue level within us from worrying is overwhelming. I'm pretty sure there hasn't been as much collective worry and stress among us in years. For some of us, maybe forever. But for others, the stress has always been real. Black and brown people live constantly their whole lives with fear and stress, not just for their livelihoods, but for their very lives. Jews are still slighted, and a staggering percentage of people don't even believe that the Holocaust ever happened. How is that for burying truth? Disease has somewhat leveled the playing field for all of us, but even those with means have a better chance of surviving this pandemic. And our government is on the verge of calamity because we, the people, are so entrenched in our political ideologies. We are exhausted. We are stressed out. And somebody in rags has come to make amends for it all, for all of us. We are offered peace. We are offered encouragement to be gentle with one another, not to be combative, not to be at odds. We are told not to worry, but remember to pray. We are given life, not death. Is that ideal attainable? The world will tell us no. Those in power will tell us no. But in my better moments, I think it is real. I think it is possible. Jesus thought so. Jesus or Phil or Howard loves us and doesn't think any less of us, but actually rejoices in our differences. That doesn't mean there isn't work to do. That doesn't mean that we need to be combative with other to try to get one side or another side to come together. It isn't about dividing us. It's about caring for each other by rejecting the powers that want to keep us apart. It's about doing honorable things, just things, pure things. It will always be a challenge to see things in a new way,
because someone or something will always try to undermine however we look at things to their advantage. But it will be worth it to try. It will be worth it to rejoice. Maybe that is the word of the day. Maybe that's what we need to do today. Maybe that is what is out there around us amidst all the anger and the hatred, the divisiveness, the hurt and the injury. Is maybe we ought to find a way to rejoice. Maybe we ought to reach out in our prayer and ask that the worry be transferred into rejoicing, into living, into hoping, and into reveling in the peace that we have been given and the joy that we have been given in life new and a life in Christ. May the God of peace be with us as we see in a new way and live into a new way that allows us to rejoice at a heavenly banquet where all are invited and all are welcome and all will be seated and all will be well fed and nurtured and loved in the heart of God. I pray this in the name of the one true God. Amen.